hope y'all don't think we left the White Walkers in 2017. Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on. What's going on, y'all? It's time for another episode of Kingary's TV. I know y'all are dragging the entire shit out of me. It's been a week or so since I did a video, and I just needed the time to just take a break and reorganize a lot of things. We've changed a lot of stuff over at kingarys.com. For the Culture Podcast is now weekly. A lot of things going on. I need to inform y'all and let y'all know, girl, what's going on with Justin? Is he homeless? Is he dead? No, I'm still here and still apparently queer. So, first things first, let's go and hop into some of the things that's been going on this week. Me and Adrian talked about a lot of things on the podcast. As the podcast grows, I want people to focus more on listening to the podcast to discuss these topics. I think it becomes redundant for me to get in front of the camera and tell you all the things going on and then write about it on kingarys.com and for it also to be on the podcast. Now, I think it is important for me to have a conversation and keep this connection going with you all, but also just to make sure that y'all are interested in listening and supporting the podcast. I know it's a different platform. I know some people are probably like, I'm not sure, but check it out. I encourage everybody, if you're interested in hearing me talk about topics, and as well as Adrian, For the Culture Podcast is where it's at on fortheculturepodcast.com. It's very important as we grow and we start to learn other things, and like there's some conversations that I want to have in depth, and I just love the way my voice sounds on the podcast, so make sure you're checking it out. But let me go and give y'all a piece for the new year. I know I'm a week late, but we have got to talk about the Queen's Court and Kandi at their escape tour and what happened in Atlanta. A lot of mess, a lot of things going on. And the Queen's Court came on Monday, and I think they talked about it a little bit. I did not watch it in its entirety. I just watched a couple of clips of it. You all know that Kandi and they saying T.I. as well was responsible for kicking out Kaya and T.S. Madison, and I think T.S. Madison's mother. Well, they didn't kick them out physically, but they said, girl, you got to go. They said that Vince and Tamar were interested in having them on stage and just do my neck and my back. And they said Kandi found out about it, and Kandi was just like, girl, no ma'am. They said T.I. had a part to play in it as well. A lot of people feeling different type of ways about it. Me personally, I'm like, if this is my platform, considering that Tamar is just the opening act, she's the salad, she's the damn nachos and cheese, but not even the cheese, because you don't even get cheese when you go to a restaurant, girl. You get probably some, what is it, little marinara sauce looking shit, some salsa, you'll get that. But she's the salad at Olive Garden, and girl, although she's cute, we really want the main entree, probably a tour of Italy, chicken marsala, whatever it is. And Tamar, I think that was kind of really disrespectful for you to think that you can do that on somebody else's platform. You're not that person. If you want to do something like that, make your own tour and do that by yourself. But it was disrespectful. And I just wouldn't allow it. And from what they're saying, they said that Tamar wasn't supposed to do that in the beginning. She wasn't supposed to do that shit anyway. She knew what it was. She's supposed to go through people and channels and stuff to make sure that she's able to do something like that. So they said they found out about it and shut it down. If it was me, yes, I would shut it down. You're not going to use a platform or something I built, something I've done, something I worked on, and you've been shading my friends or whatever. Now they said that Kaya and T.S. Madison were not going to get on stage and shade, but just their presence alone is just a strong thing. And I think Kaya and T.S. Madison wanted to go there, not necessarily to be messy, but just to promote the shit that they're working on, the Queen's Court, which is important to them. They want to make sure that it's working. So I thought that was cute, but Kandi shut it down. Y'all notice how Kandi rolls. Kandi does that on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all see how she shut Phaedra down and other things down, and you see how she's trying to shut this shit down with Johnny. I think it was his name. I can't think of the last name. Johnny, the guy, the assistant that was helping her and doing all that type of stuff. You know that Kandi has settling a lawsuit with him. It's on kingarys.com. You can check it. I talked about it on my Housewives review. They're saying that Johnny won. He got a couple of coins. Kandi settled the lawsuit, and she's trying to keep, the information private. She doesn't want the court documents to be leaked. She want it to be sealed. So, she thinks it's going to be affecting her business. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Kandi, the stuff is real damaging. Kandi probably just said, girl, I just want this shit gone. I want it gone, get this out of my way. But also, Kandi probably was not paying that man enough money for what all the stuff he was doing. So, I don't know. When people settle, it doesn't always mean that, somebody is wrong. Just think girl, get this shit. I got enough money to just, put that shit past me. But I am interested in seeing those court documents. If I get them, if I see see them leaked or something, I will be posting them on kingarees.com, but you can check out the full article in its entirety on kingarees.com. I was not the person to drop that exclusive this time. It was the Jasmine brand, but shout out to them for getting that information and let us know what the tea is. As far as the Queen's Court, Kaya, T.S. Madison, whatever they're doing, I think they're funny. I think that, you know, sometimes they say a little problematic shit, but we're all problematic in one shape, form, somehow. We're all learning. I just seen a tweet, but somebody said that Asians don't have fraternity, and somebody said that they have side fried rice or some shit. And you all know that if you know Asians, they don't eat that shit that they sell us. So I thought that was very racist, and I followed that as I do not tolerate shit like that in my space. So I had to let that shit go real quick. And he was a funny individual. That's not some shit I'm not checking for. That's just not no shit I'm interested in. But the Queen's Court, they've done some new work. They got a new little thing going on. They have like a little judge thing. They put the episode out. A couple of folks were not checking for. A lot of folks were saying that, you know, the thing had changed. It's not authentic. My only observation of that is it's hard to mass produce content. I tell people that so much. You can only get high so many times. There can only, like Usher will never be able to top Confessions. That was a good body of work. He put his all in there. He really focused on it and made it pop. And it's not something you can do every week, every year. He can't produce an album like that. And that's even for me. My last King of Reed's TV video was lit as fuck. I was having fun. And Dario, my friend guy over there, executive producer over at Chasing Atlanta, was here. And we were just turned and I got in front of the camera and I just had fun. Not saying I don't have fun any time, but even YouTube has taught me. I took a little YouTube class. They said it's hard to reproduce content over and over again. Like you have something that has happened that you can only talk about once a month or once every few months. You can't do that every week. And considering how the Queen's Court has built a presence online of just like dragging celebrities and doing that, it's kind of hard to do that every week because it becomes redundant and it's just not possible to do that. Somebody said you should tell T.S. Madison this, you should give her some insight. Me and T.S. Madison are not on that type of level. We spoke a couple of times. I think she's very talented, but we don't have that type of friendship for me to do that. And I'm pretty sure she has a lot of people in her ear telling her all types of things, and I don't think it'll be important for me, or I don't think it would be smart enough for me to tell her anything. So I'm just doing it on my platform, and maybe y'all take a snippet of it and let her know. Maybe you won't. It don't matter to me, but I'm talking to the fans, to the Jays, to the supporters, and let them know how I feel about the situation. I thought it was cute for them to do the whole judge thing. I think that was cute. The camera quality could have been a little better. Audio could have been better. I feel like y'all have enough coin and stuff to actually invest and make it better. But I think y'all kind of rushed it a little bit, and y'all got the high horse. Like y'all was just like, oh, we gonna do it up. And then sometimes when you think like that, it puts a lot of pressure on you and you overact, and it becomes inauthentic. You have to get in front of this camera and just be like yourself. You have to be, and that's what they did so many episodes. Y'all know Kaya has done that, several videos like that. T.S. Madison has done several videos, but it seemed like it was an act. And it's kind of hard as we kind of maneuver, because we want to fit in this space to be able to monetize something like that, but it's not always possible to do it and for people to like. People don't like the new how I do King of Reed's TV. They like when I was in a regular V-neck, white V-neck shirt, and I said shit and stumbled on words and said shit and wasn't edited, wasn't pictures of videos and thumbnails. They like that. But as a whole, as a brand, I liked it because I was able to create better content for another audience and stuff, and people who want to see me grow. So sometimes when people say, oh, I like the old Justin J, I love that. I know you do. I love old Justin J too, but Justin J learned a lot, and Justin J has grown so much since some of those things I said. That was very, you know, sometimes hateful in some of those videos and said stuff that I shouldn't have said, and you know, you can only grow. So everybody's not gonna like you to grow and change. It's just not gonna happen. Everybody's not gonna be here for that. It just doesn't happen. You can't please everybody. So I would tell the Queen's Court to focus, polish up the brand, make it look sickening, be authentic, and don't feel like you have to rush and do the same thing over and over again. And stop responding to negative comments. Let these folks say what they got to say and move on about your business. But the more you waste your time responding to negative comments and not paying attention to the millions of people who are interested in you, you lose time with that. So focus on the people who are positive, give you positive insight and tell you how much they love you, versus you giving somebody who does not mean nothing. Because if they don't mean anything, you won't respond. So we had a couple of episodes, we had a couple of new shows that hit the floor. I talked about that on the podcast as well. 911 came out. I thought it was great. I did not talk about it on For the Culture podcast. 911 was a good show. I liked it. Angela Bassett was in it. Another woman was in, I can't think of her name. And I'm pretty sure some of y'all have seen it. They did a cute little promo for it. How I feel about it, I don't necessarily know. I think the show has potential. I like the first episode. I love Angela Bassett. I love Angela Bassett so much I actually went back and watched Coven. I'm watching it now on Netflix. But another show, Grownish, came out. Talked about that on the podcast. I did not like Grownish. I don't watch even Blackish. I've only watched a couple of episodes that talked about stuff like I felt like it was an educating moment, like, oh, like it made me think. But as a whole, I'm not interested in that type of satire when it comes to my folks, because it just seems like it's very corny and it's just, it doesn't come off. Yeah, I just don't like it. So that's just not me. A lot of folks watching Blackish is still doing good. Shout out to whatever his name is, and what's her name? Girl, Tracy Ellis Ross. Shout out to all of them. Grownish, watched the first episode. It did nothing for me. There was a conversation about the lack of representation for dark-skinned men and women. I didn't see any of that. There was a beautiful young lady who wrote about that. I'm gonna put that on kingareese.com as well. She talked about like what's going on, and she even did a response for people who said, well, we gotta give it time. How much time we gonna give it? Because I'm ready. Like, we ready today. We ready to see something. And you know, some folks say, well, if the guy is there, but he's not. He's like brown skin. But you know, Grownish, I expected to kind of like have a conversation with certain people. Maybe it's resonating with a different audience, but it's clearly not me because I ain't interested in it like that. But shout out to them. There's a rumor going out that said that Cardi B is giving Offset plenty of passes to do whatever he wants to do. There was another video that dropped that Offset was allegedly smashing some girl or whatever, and he recorded. The only thing is, I think it's even more disrespectful for him to record it. Like, I don't think it's that bad. If Cardi B is okay with it, it must not be bad to her. If it's not affecting her, I don't really care about it. Like, if she's good, but I don't think she is. And I think the video makes it worse because we're commenting on it, we're talking about it, and we're dragging her because they've been on her ass. But Offset, we've already told y'all, I've already told y'all how I feel about their relationship. I feel like it's too soon. I feel like he is trying to be a parasite to her career, and I feel like the Three Blind Mice should worry about their own stuff, and Cardi B should worry about hers. I think she's just looking for love. I think sometimes people want to be loved so bad that they end up being in something that is not love because it's an imitation of it, and we can't tell the difference. I don't eat imitation crab meat. I don't eat imitation crab meat. No matter how much I love seafood, I'm not hungry to the point that I'm sitting here going to eat it just because it looks like it. So I'm not going to be chasing it. So I think Cardi B is chasing something that is not really there. It does not exist with that man. I think she can find something better, but it's gonna be hard because she's doing this, and there's gonna be somebody that's gonna be trying to ride her coattails. So shout out to Cardi B. She did a finesse video with, she did the finesse remix video with Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars dropped the song as well. You know, both of them are signed to Atlantic Records. I think Atlantic Records are working on some stuff. There was a conversation of black folks saying that they are not here for Bruno Mars and how he's doing this 90s culture. One of my favorite people on the grapevine, Seren, did a video about it. She was in her car and she talked about Bruno Mars being like an Elvis style artist. She basically said that he is talented, but he knows it's a niche and that works for him doing that 90s stuff. She said that all this stuff that we're doing, like For the Culture, all that, she said is lame. I agree to a certain extent. I believe, for me, and I'm using I statements when talking about this, I believe that Bruno Mars caters to the audience that likes black people but does not want it to be too black. Like, okay, soften it up and make it palatable for me to be able to enjoy it. And that's a white audience. Like, I'm not terrified. We know that white people are loving to consume our culture. We just got through seeing a video of University of Alabama, whatever, beating UGA, and they was out rapping to Kendrick Lamar's music, and you know, had, like, they were saying nigga throughout the song. They just did not care. They were crunk as fuck, mayonnaise music on beat, all of it. So we know that they like to consume it, but I just find it awkward and sometimes unsettling that people like Luke James, who can sing his ass off, cannot get that same type of attention that Bruno Mars does. And I don't think it's black people's fault. I don't think it's us. I think it's these record labels, and they're just like, this is what's going to sell. And Amara La Negra talks about that on Love and Hip Hop Miami. You heard Young Hollywood tell her that, you know, we're not interested in Macy Grace in style. We want more of a Beyonce. We like, girl, if you don't see that there's colorism, if you don't see there's colorism in the industry, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're living on a rock, but it's very present and I see it so much, and it's very fucking annoying. Fire and Fury. We know that Michael Wolff has released an tell-all book about him being in the Trump administration for a whole year, spilling all types of teas, letting us know what's going on in the White House. The White House is denying any contact with him. They said he was there, but he didn't speak to the president. Mike Wolff said, girl, I had an interview with him 3 hours. He didn't know it was an interview, but I was there. I'm still here. 3 hours, he said he talked to Trump. Several things in the book that, you know, say, like, girl, Trump ass is dumb. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't like to read. He just wants the bullet points of what's going on. Girl, it sounds like a lot of content creators, to be honest, where they're just talking about surface issues, not going in depth and finding out what is the actual solution, just complaining and calling it trash. We calling that bullshit out in 2018. If you can't dive deep in that shit and offer a solution, we ain't interested in hearing that shit. And that's something that we're trying to change for the Culture Podcast. I'm so appreciative of so many young gay black men and women, trans men and women emailing us and letting us know about their stories and things they're going through, and letting us talk about that. I feel like that is something that these other people need to work on. I'm not seeing a lot of folks dive in depth and talk about gay issues on their platforms, and I'm very disturbed and not understanding. I know we're talking about trans murders and all that type of stuff, but we need to be talking to our youth. Like I have 15, 16-year-old you know, gay black men who are telling me about, you know, their experiences growing up, and I'm not seeing a lot of other people like myself. I think there's another podcast that talks about, I think there's the Him podcast. I'll put that information. I am working on like a top 10 podcast that I've been listening to. There are a couple of them that are very sickening, and I listen to them 7 days a week. Just to get my mind off things. And I'm gonna do that, put that on kingarees.com for y'all to check it out. But back on Michael Wolff's book, I believe everything we've already said, that we know Trump is dumb. We know that Donald Trump is dumb as the sock of rocks. We know that he is dumb. We know he doesn't know much. There was, you know, conversation about him having a mental illness. Mental illness is not funny. Like, we shouldn't be laughing at that, no matter who it is. No matter who it is, we shouldn't be laughing at that or poking fun at it. But I feel like he is a little bit disturbed, and not even being funny. I just feel like, you know, these white people liked what he was talking about. But now that we're having situations dealing with North Korea, talking about they have their missiles launched at us, like this ain't no damn joke. It's not funny. It ain't funny. I'm laughing a little bit, but the shit ain't funny, because I have friends that are over in South Korea right now in Seoul. I think it's Seoul or whatever, and they're going through training and stuff and preparing for anything. Like, I have friends who are still in the army who are doing gas mask training, which lets me know that there's conversation about biological warfare, and it's some serious shit, and it ain't nothing to play with. And I'm just glad and thankful that I'm out of that shit. I had to let the army go, girl. She was killing my soul and eating up everything, so I had to let this shit go. But yeah, we have this mentally disturbed individual running shit, and they say he's like a child. He's childlike, and I believe it. I believe Michael Wolff was telling the truth. There were some kind of inconsistencies. He said he spoke to certain people. He spoke to some person who worked in the White House on a certain date, and this person came on, I think CNN or something, and said that I don't see how that was possible, and I was at my wife was giving birth to our child, so I don't see how that happened. But I think the White House is going to use that and say that the shit is not true. But he didn't speak to certain people he said he spoke to, and I believe some other shit he said. I believe it. Like, I believe it. And I cannot. It's so much to talk about when we talk about Trump and everything, and I just don't have enough time to talk about that shit. I just don't. But we're going to talk about some good stuff. The Golden Globes 2018, I don't know if you call that good. I did appreciate, you know, all these white actresses and actors and stuff, where these actresses, white actresses, using their privilege to amplify a person of color's voice and the work they've been doing. Tarana Burke, some other people, they just use that. Shout out to them. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about this peeing times up stuff. You know, you white folks, y'all sometimes y'all love to do this little thing where y'all say y'all doing something. Not all of y'all asses, I'll give y'all that this time. But y'all think putting a safety pin or putting a pin changing your Facebook profile picture to something, talking about starving Africans or something. Like, I feel like y'all are out here doing something, and it just really does not do shit. I've never changed my Facebook profile picture to that. I support any of that shit. I just don't. I'd rather be more action. I just don't need to. I just don't believe in it. That's just not me. I've never done that shit. No, even when it was the gay thing, I did not get into that. I say my piece. I do what I can. I'll do what I need to do, and that's just about it. But as far as needing for doing it, I ain't interested in it. I would like to know how y'all felt about all the people who were in black and talked about it. How do y'all feel about that? Now, I was here for Miss Portman girl when she said, here are all the male nominees. Now, that was cute. Oprah's acceptance speech, everybody's talking about that. Very moving. I think that she really inspired a lot of us, and we needed that in 2018 because we had a rough year, 2017, and the ending year of 2016 that kind of hurt a lot of us. So I think I had a rough year. I know because, child, my credit went down a whole goddamn 80 points. Whole 80 points. But I am working on speaking with someone who is a financial advisor, my guy Anthony, love you so much, who has been working with me and getting things deleted off my credit and showing me things to be working on and things. And thankfully I'm able to, I'm making a little bit more money so I can be able to pay debt, because I've already told y'all my thing. I really would love to buy my mother and father a house in 2018, so y'all be keeping me up in that. That's something I want to do. If there's anything I can do for them, I can purchase them a house, and then I worry about getting me a condo in the sky. As long as they're happy, I'm happy. But it's important. Make sure we're going to talk about that, because I feel like we need to be building wealth and sustaining wealth and not chasing checks but creating checks. That's some shit we're going to talk about in 2018. Last but not least, we had H&M do the photo shoot or whatever with the black boy, young black model who had a Coolest Monkey in the Jungle pullover on. There's been screenshots that said the mother didn't care long she got her check. We can't verify those at kingarees.com, but I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know. But I do know that it's insensitive, but it's not necessarily racism in my opinion. I just don't see it as racism. I think it's insensitive. I think there's a lot of things that's going on that we're not paying attention to. Like when we're talking about labor laws and stuff, when we purchase things from H&M and they're paying people like pennies on dollars. Like they're paying people like breadcrumbs, as one of my friends said on Facebook. To be able to make the shit that we wear. So I think some of us, we push it like, okay, we do this, it's like a Olympic. It's like the Olympics. Like, oh my gosh, like who can be the most outrageous? And it's really becoming like mind-boggling to me. Like I'm to the point, and I know I used that in one of the pictures and stuff for the podcast, but I'm just like, girl, it's just like, it's insensitive, but it's not necessarily racism. There is so much shit going on that we do every day that is trash. I made comments about that, just like walking past homeless people and ignoring them. We're sitting here flushing toilets that have like using so much water, and we have countries that don't have water. We do trash shit every day, and there's a lot of things that we do that we can fix and work on. Like we're sitting here buying these prized possessions, spending money on shit. And when we can be like probably donating and helping, like I don't know. It's so stressful because I think we're all selfish in some way. But there's so much. There's so much. I just feel like it's just cute. H&M has released a statement and said, whatever. I didn't even read it. I just don't even care. I just don't care about what they have to say. I feel like if you have more black people in these departments, in these spaces and stuff, they'll tell you like, girl, I don't know if we feeling that. And some black folks who are actually happy to be black. Not ones who are having swirl life in the goddamn bios on Twitter and shit. But that's all I got. I hope you all enjoyed this Kingarees TV video. I enjoyed it. It was very therapeutic. Make sure you're always checking out kingarees.com, and make sure you're checking out the latest episode of For the Culture Podcast. I cannot stress that enough. As I said before, as I mentioned, as For the Culture Podcast continues to pick up steam, Kingarees TV videos probably won't be as frequent as they used to be, because I want you all to really get used to going to the podcast and listening and get into it and emailing me and let me know what you want us to improve on the podcast, what you want us to talk about. This is our platform. This is our platform together. All the supporters. We're just trying to have conversations that y'all are interested in. And let us know. Go to make sure you're checking it out. Let you know. Feel free to email me. I love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening, a wonderful night, and I'll talk to y'all later on this evening. Bye.
Laying up with men out there prostituting, having oral sex with my mouth, licking men's balls. Thank you. Amen. Remember you in prayer. Anyone else have a word from the Lord, a testimony?